to CannaBalanceLife podcast. You're tuned in with Chris all the way from Chicago, and we've got a very special guest on the podcast with us tonight, coming all the way from, let's hear it for New York. We got Omar Harrison in the building. Omar, how you feeling?
Hey, what's good? How you doing? How you doing, man?
All right. Good, man. Good. First of all, thank you so much for being on the podcast with us tonight. Of course, as our listeners know, CannaBalance is all about just bringing balance to life, whether that's in health and wellness, music, concerts, yoga, meditation, and maybe just life lessons in general, just really helping you balance out all the things that you're doing in your life. Just make sure to visit CannaBalanceCBD.com/subscribe, of course, to get all the latest and greatest tips and updates from us. We always have our podcast every single week and have some special guests on, just like we have Omar tonight. So thank you so much for being on with us, Omar, tonight. And just real quick, I want to, kind of dive into a couple things that we've been talking about a lot. To give you some backstory, I'll let you get into it, but just some edification on Omar. Omar is a good friend of CannaBalance's. I've known him for some years now, going back to my time in New York. He was actually my personal trainer, but more importantly than that, he wears a lot of different hats and a lot of different shoes. He's very much into the fitness game and all about just helping people as a life coach and personal mentor. So I'll let you dive into a little bit more about that. Let's talk a little bit about you, Omar. There's some of our listeners that don't really know your background. Okay. Where you come from and kind of how you got into the game a little bit.
All right. Well, listen, first off, thank you. That was a great introduction, and I appreciate that. So I've been doing this, well, as far as fitness is concerned, I've been training for almost 20 years now. I went back to college when I was 21, and I'm 39 now. So it's almost been 20 years I've been in the industry, whether it's been a personal trainer. I was a district manager at New York Sports Club, fitness manager, master trainer at New York Sports Club, worked at Boom, Crunch, master trainer now.
And I know you work with a lot of people, coach a lot of people in the New York area and whatnot. I guess a lot of our members are, of course, turning to us in this time of need, this COVID situation that we have, of course, of people, especially in New York and places. There's just a lot of inactivity, right? People have been home for months. Gyms have been closed. Maybe they're not, treating their body the healthiest as far as their diet and nutrition and stuff like that. I guess the first thing would really, our members are really interested in knowing what should I be doing right now? As gyms are looking at, closing down again for the second time and maybe looking at another 3 to 6 months without being able to get into the, gym and get in shape. What can people be doing at home, or what should they be doing every day, to do the best for their body as far as physical and mental?
All right. Well, here's the thing. I always tell people it's mind, body, and soul. So the first thing you do for your body is get your mind right. In a challenging time like this, where you're stressed out on watching TV 24/7, being inundated with all this negativity, with the George Floyd thing everybody knows about, everything that's going on right now. One of the best things to do, in my opinion, is to just get your mind together. Start meditating. Go outside for a walk, get some fresh air. I have clients. I had a client I trained the other day at her house. She hasn't been out in 4 months now, since March 16th. She's been out her house one time. That's not healthy. We're human beings. We're not supposed to be indoors and looking at four walls. We're supposed to be looking at the stars, looking at, inhaling fresh air, allowing our feet to contact the pavement and getting that energy from the earth. That's step number one. Now, as far as what else you can do as far as exercise is concerned, get a pull-up bar. You can get a pull-up bar, put it in your doorway. You can do your push-ups, your sit-ups, do a couple of dumbbells. You don't need anything extravagant. You just need something to be able to get you to move and be able to get your blood flowing. Go take a walk, go take a run. Use the environment. You don't need all that heavy machinery and equipment to get a good workout. Now, once gyms open back up, if you want to put on some mass, that's more, you can go do that. But as far as in the house, so it's your mind and it's your body, push-ups, calisthenics, lunges, squats, crunches, things like that. You don't need much equipment to get a really good workout, especially if you change the pace. If you change the repetitions, do 100 push-ups, you might be able to bench press 300 pounds. But if you can do 100 push-ups, you're going to still get a good workout. Now, last thing is your diet. That's paramount, your diet. I always tell my clients you should have like an 80-20 thing where majority of the food you're having and consuming, there should be no barcode on it, meaning that fresh fruits and vegetables, things of that nature, a very little chicken and fish. Try to stay away from red meat as much as possible. Consume more fish than chicken and more chicken than red meat. I try to keep it to a minimum, if anything.
Sure.
Even if you decide you want to be vegan, make sure you get a B12. Have a good B12 supplement because there's no B12 in. I'm sure you know about that because
Shout out to all the vegans. Hey, I know you're on your way, Omar. We're watching out for you. You're on your way to that vegan diet. You'll make it someday. Yeah. I would really like to talk to, people that are maybe having issues with, the barcode, getting off of that processed crap and really doing something for their body. How would you suggest that somebody does that? Or, what can you suggest to somebody that's trying to move into a healthier lifestyle and balanced diet for the next 30, 60 days?
Okay, what I would say is a couple of things. First, I like to always make sure I educate people, right? One thing throughout every culture, throughout every way you look, I'm talking about cultures as far as like historically speaking, there's one thing that's in common is that a clear colon, your gut being clear leads to a healthy life. I think Hippocrates said that all disease starts in the stomach, in your gut. So I like to make people realize and have to understand how important it is to have, how important it is for you to have good gut health and good health and how they go hand in hand. That's paramount number one. The second thing I like to tell people as far as now technically what you should and shouldn't do, a lot of people are raised on processed foods and eat a lot of carb kings and queens out here, right? So now what I think about it is that find a vegetable that you like. A lot of people don't even like fruits and vegetables. So start with one. If it's bananas, start with that. If you like potatoes, you start with that. And then you start to slowly introduce things to your diet, kind of like how we do with babies when you introduce things slowly to them. Fine, so just harp on one thing. If you only like broccoli, then just start with that, and then have broccoli and chicken, and then you sort of slowly start to expand your palate. And that's the way I would suggest with people. Because if you over inundate people with too much things, they're gonna get shocked and they're gonna go right back to what they're doing. So that's the way I would do it.
I want to shift it a little bit because obviously, shifting to world discussions, and we'll keep it light, but, obviously there's a lot of stuff going on in the world right now, centered around, race and police reform, and things that, affect, people in society like yourself. Obviously you're a young African-American entrepreneur. And I really feel like, people need to know, from somebody like yourself, what it's like nowadays to run a business as a young African-American entrepreneur. More importantly, what steps can others do to follow in your footsteps or really just make a name for themselves in 2020?
All right, that's a great question. It's a long-winded answer, and I'm going to try to consolidate that as much as possible and just give you the bullet points. Never, ever conform to conformity. Never allow yourself to doubt. Never doubt yourself. That's the thing about it, and never take no as an answer. You have, whether you're telling yourself no subconsciously, whether other people are telling you no, whether society is telling you no, never take no for an answer. Like Fabulous said, my plan B is how to figure out how to make my plan A work. And that's literally how I look at life. So a lot of things I didn't have, growing up in Brooklyn as a Black male, I grew up I've seen a lot, and I've been through a lot, growing up in Brooklyn. And there was a lot I didn't have as far as just, on a family level. It was things that were institutionalized, racism that was institutionalized that affected my family and affected me as well because I was born into that. So, but I never allowed myself to doubt myself. I never allowed myself to doubt myself. And even when I took the losses, I always knew that those losses were lessons. They weren't really lost. They were lessons. Anything I gained that was a setback, it set me up for the comeback to make me better. So now it's a point in time in my life to where I'm so grounded and I know who I am and I know who I'm not. And I'm so confident in myself that I know I'm going to get everything I want out of life and more. So that's what I would suggest. I'm not going to get into the nuts and bolts and the technical aspects and all this shit I'm not going to get into. I'm sorry, I mean to curse, but I'm not going to get into all the other stuff.
Yeah.
But what I will say to people is never doubt yourself. Trust in yourself. Trust in whatever you believe in, spiritually, God, universe, whatever you believe in. Trust in that. And you will get everything that you want out of life, whether it's business, because you will find a way. Doors will open for you, or you'll figure out how to kick them down. Or
maybe you can tell, us, or for you people that are looking to get involved like yourself. I have a feeling that there are a lot of people out there, just not just black males, but people that want to get involved in the fitness industry, and they look at somebody like you, and they're like, man, this guy's young, he's successful. What is he doing day to day, to expand his business, expand his clientele, and be where he's trying to be? So, maybe you could take us through like a basic day, right? Starting in the morning.
Okay. All right. So now I answer that question. Here it is. For a couple of things, as far as personal training is concerned, people forget that's personal training. A lot of times we get so enamored with the science of it all, and then we end up making sessions as trainers, making for ourselves to feed our own ego. A lot of times, again, like I like to quote rappers, as Jay-Z said, I had to dumb down for my audience. Yep. And when Jay-Z at that time, he was so technical, he was losing people because he was going over people's heads. What I had to do is kind of bring it back and then make it more personable. So I might dumb down my workouts or do things that are not technically sound. They're not going to injure anybody. But when I say technically sound, it might not be the right order, or it might be, I might just do split days with people, which is not really the best thing to do with people. But if they're happy and they're coming and working out, I had to check my ego at the door. That's one. Second thing I had to do is realize that building relationships is the most important thing in this business. Like I said before, it's personal training. You have to build relationships with people. You have to give them access to who you are as a person and vice versa. Because if you're a good teacher, eventually they'll inevitably be able to work out on their own. But they cannot get you unless you're with them. They cannot get that feeling. They can't get that vibe anymore. So you have to create a vibe, and you have to give yourself. So now it's no longer I'm going to the gym and working out. I'm going to see Omar now. That's a big thing. Next thing is your best ability is availability, meaning you have to make sure you're on time. Of course, things happen. You live in New York. There's going to be traffic, accidents. But what I'm saying, you can't control those things. But you can control the times where you get up late. You can control those. So now people can deal with once in a while being late. But now if you're late because you're just being late, and then also you have the circumstances affect you, that's going to affect your business, because people are paying $150 an hour to work with me. And if I'm late and I'm not on time and I'm constantly calling out because I'm want to party and hang over, I'm hungover, that's going to affect my business as well. I wear a lot of hats. When I just started a YouTube channel a couple of months ago, it's life advice for Black men, but now anybody can listen to it. It's not specifically just for Black men, but that's the tone, that's the voice I'm speaking in. That's my target demographic. I have a lot of women subscribers already, actually. I have some white men follow me as well, white women. So, but I touch on Black topics. My name on YouTube is Oh Marvelous. I don't know if you have it's
in the corner
link. Oh, yep. There you go.
Yep.
Boom.
Yep.
Look me up on on YouTube. Check it out. Sure. I have a lot of things. It's food for your soul on that channel.
Sure. Great. Right. Well, thank you so much for being on with us tonight, and really appreciate you having on. As always, hope to have you back very soon. And thanks so much, everyone, for tuning in tonight. Make sure to visit CannaBalanceCBD.com/subscribe. Get all our updates, notifications, what's going on with people like Oh Marvelous. And everyone have a great evening. Take care.